Yeah, just say, got it.
Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome our lovely guests, Megan and Mandy. So Megan Potter is a South Australian cosmetic company founded by two cousins who you're seeing here, Megan and Mandy, and they specialize in gorgeous certified organic skincare, hair care, and mineral makeup. And of course, all of their products are cruelty-free and vegan. So I was lucky enough to meet these lovely ladies through SA Woman, which you may or may not know about. If you don't know about them, definitely check them out. And came across their products, and they're absolutely remarkable. The branding is beautiful, the products are great. And I just said, I have to get you guys on NINKI Talks to just talk about your journey and find out more about everything that you're doing, because it's so inspiring, and they've built this incredible brand. And so I'm very excited to talk to you today. Thank you so much for being here to chat to me.
Wow, what an intro. That was really lovely. Thank you.
We sound great.
We do sound great.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you are great, and it's a delight to have you. So I've got so many questions, but I guess I'll start with asking you guys, just tell me about the business. Like, at what point did you just sort of go, we're going to create this bloody awesome, epic line of beauty products? Like, what are your backgrounds and how did the business come to be?
Yeah, well, I'm a beauty therapist, and I've been a beauty therapist about 15 years, and I've jumped in and out of the industry, throughout my life. But I was at home with my second child, who was 4 months old, on maternity leave, and Mandy popped over to visit me. This is when we were both living in Brisbane, and said,
I got an idea.
Yeah, she said, I've got an idea. Mandy's got a business background. She's got an MBA. So she said, let's start a beauty brand. And I thought, well, how hard can it be? Turns out it's pretty hard, actually. But I've got the beauty knowledge, beauty background. Mandy loves beauty as well, but she's got all the business skills. So together we're like quite the yin and the yang. We had we both brought different things to the party, and
we started very small.
We started really small.
We had 4 products.
Yeah, mineral makeup we started with, and we were running it from Mandy's study, essentially.
And kitchen.
All the best businesses start from like a bedroom or a kitchen. So
yeah,
you know it's going well when it starts there.
And then we just sort of like kept encroaching your house space, growing into another room, and then part of your kids' playroom and living area. And then we had to hire a storage facility to house all these bottles that we bought.
Empty bottles ready for...
Yeah, and now we're in a warehouse on South Road at St. Mary's. So yeah, it's just sort of...
Australia. So we both moved 12 months apart, but ended up back where we originated. We're both originally from here.
Yeah.
So both ended up in South Australia.
Yeah.
And your warehouse is incredible. Like, it's super, super impressive. And you must be so proud when you drive up and you see the big sign there. Like, it's, going from doing it in your kitchen or in the study to there is amazing. And I mean, like, was the growth quite organic? Like, or did it sort of just take off on its own? Like, did you have this big plan to make it as big as it has become? Or did you find that it just happened organically?
I think in some way that we sort of gotten bigger than what we wanted at one point.
Yeah.
Because we initially, we're both mums with kids at school, and when Megan's kids weren't quite at school, I said, you're about to find out how hard it is to juggle work and all the commitments that come with drop off and pick up, and then you get the phone call, your kid's sick, and you're the one that has to drop everything and come and pick them up. So yeah, we really were looking to create work that we loved, but also that fitted in with family life and being a mum and that balance. And so it's sort of grown a little bit bigger than that now.
So, but to answer your question, it sort of was organically. We were sort of selling to, like, our mums would get some stuff, and then our friends, and then friends of friends. It's actually really cool when an order comes through and you're like, I don't know this person. Do you know this person? And now that's, we see that every day, but it's that is so exciting in the early stages of your business. And of course we've had influencers and ambassadors that have helped us along the way, but yes, it was very organic.
The product does tend to sell itself. Like, you can say to people, oh, we've got this great product, come and buy it. And they're like, well, okay, yeah, so is every other product. But the best, I guess, what we experienced was someone would meet a friend and then who hadn't seen for a while and say, oh, what have you done with your skin? Have you had a facial? You look so great. And it's, oh, I'm using these products. And then we'd have a new customer.
Yeah.
So the products sold themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, word of mouth is huge. And I shared this story with Megan actually, but we went away to Aldinga for the Easter weekend. And as a thank you to the lady who had loaned us her house, my mother-in-law said, oh, well, why don't we give her this cosmetic gift? There's this brand that she really, really likes. It's called Megan Potter. And I just about like jumped over the table and I was like, I know her. I literally just met her, like met you a few days before, and I was so excited. And I don't know if she knows you at all, but she's obviously, again, through word of mouth, got hold of your product. And yeah, it was just so awesome to be like, I know her. And so yeah, that is really exciting. And just to go back to the point that you were saying, like, you know, I'm not a mum, but gosh, I can really, really appreciate and have so much respect for mums who are working and raising kids, because work is hard and raising kids are hard, and you're doing both at the same time, and you're just doing it so exceptionally well. What would some tips be that you would give to mothers who are running businesses and how to kind of balance that work-life situation? What are some of your hacks for being a mumpreneur?
That's a tough one.
I would say sometimes you have to choose between earning more money and then getting someone else to come and do that work for you. So a lot of people would say to myself, even to my husband, oh yeah, your wife must work 60 hours a week because she's got her own business. Like, yeah, no, she doesn't do it that way. So we work the hours that we want to work and when we want to work. So some weeks we don't add it up, but we might, you know, work whatever it is, 40 or 45 hours, and others it might be 20. So we work the hours that fit in, and then we've employed someone part-time, permanent part-time.
Yeah.
These hours vary from half-time to full-time depending on how busy it is. So I think that's, I guess, what are you trying to get out of it? Are you trying to earn as much money as you possibly can, or is it about enjoying the work and maybe having a more modest income and employing other people to come and help out so that you're not working
that?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think, like, me being a business owner myself, I feel like I constantly have, and I'm just that sort of person, I feel like I constantly have to be maximizing my time, and I have to be working all hours all the time, and I have to always be on. But the reality is that there's certain times of the day where you can get the best out of yourself, and if you don't take those breaks or, you know, fulfill some of your other responsibilities, like doing your laundry or doing, you know, cooking yourself a meal, then your work does start to fall to shit sometimes. So you know, I love the fact that you're just so open to that flexibility, and that you haven't let your brand or your work consume you, because I know that I'm guilty of that, and maybe I can afford to be sometimes because I don't have kids, but I've had to learn the hard way to really just go, I don't have to work 50 million hours every week, and I can take a break, and I can choose when I want to work, because that was the whole reason I started my business in the first place. So that self-awareness, like, that's a really good tip to give to people from the outset, is that you don't have to, like, just go crazy all the time, because you'll just burn out.
Yes, that's right. And you really have to listen to yourself. I know when I get really run down, I get tonsillitis, and touch wood, I haven't had it lately, because I've learnt to listen to my body. I'm like, okay, I'm working too much, I'm staying up too late, drinking too much. I need to slow down.
We all do that.
Yeah, I just have to, like, okay, I need to slow down, spend some more time with my kids. I'm going to finish early today because I need to. And we've gotten better at doing that, haven't we? Yeah.
It's definitely a habit you have to build, because it doesn't come naturally to me to stop. And neither does it to my family. Like, we're all like high functioning anxious people, so we just keep going. But you can build those habits. You've just got to be really strict with yourself, which can be challenging. So that's really good advice. So, I mean, like any business, you've had, you know, this amazing growth and this amazing success, but with that also comes challenges. So, like, what have been the biggest challenges that you've faced, and how have you overcome them?
Well, COVID has been challenging. I think when COVID first started in 2020, everyone was super excited to shop online. So we actually benefited from that. Everyone's like, oh wow, we're locked up at home and we want to spend our money. This is fun, getting deliveries at home. And
the Australian made craze, which I think is probably softening a little bit now, but everyone suddenly is going, oh, I want everything made in Australia.
Yes.
So big Australian made.
Yes, but then the second year of COVID, people were trying not to spend as much money. And it was tricky. Supply chain issues came into it. yeah, finding ingredients, you know, if they happen to be on the other side of the world, instead of taking 6 weeks to get here, they were taking 6 months to get here. So that was challenging, navigating that. That's one thing anyway. Yeah.
And did you find that just corrected itself as COVID sort of?
Well, it also became normal. Like, you're just like, yep, okay, that's how long things take now. Yep, that's how long.
You just pivot and adjust.
It's normal, and everybody is experiencing that. And yeah, and especially like Australia Post, when no, they were struggling with getting everyone's orders out. It's like, yeah, that's normal. That's the new normal. People know that things take a long time now. But that's sort of finished now, but it just became the norm.
I think too that we when we first started, we thought I guess we didn't have certain skills, so we would pay for a graphic artist, we'd pay for professional photography, and now that there's really 3 of us, we've looked at what skills we have, and we've trained ourselves to learn Adobe Illustrator, so we don't need to pay a graphic artist anymore. And which also helps.
That's my job now.
That's Megan's job. And she works with us, just happens to love photography. And I was like, her hobby is like, great. So can you learn some editing stuff that she's still in the process of doing, and do all our photos? And she's so talented. I was like, oh, great.
Yes. And then you've gone back to the books as well.
I've gone back. So I'm studying to become a cosmetic chemist with organic formulation, just to, you know, make it extra challenging, because I felt like, my skill set had stopped and I needed to learn more. So we're all learning new things, and in that way, not having to pay, I don't have to pay an industrial chemist now. Certain things I can do myself, and
got to adapt.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real trait of an entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur, because I'm always wanting to learn new things. I do not settle. And I think because of my industry being in digital marketing, which is always changing, although all industries are always changing, that desire to upskill yourself and to be self-sufficient is something that is just something that, if you don't have that ability, you might not be a very good entrepreneur. So, and then I think also like adjusting and pivoting when things aren't going well is something that's really a good lesson to learn early on in the journey, I guess, because when you're in a position like that, you go, we got through it back then and we're going to get through it now. So I think self-sufficiency and building those skills and learning to adapt and pivot are all 3 really, really important challenges that all businesses should sort of go through, and then, you know, move through it.
Pivot is the word, isn't it? Everyone's pivoting.
Do you know what we did? I just remember, it's like you'd have your normal sales that you expect, but because they're delayed, say, you know, might be an ingredient that you couldn't get, or some packaging, or even mailing boxes or something, we'd have a list on the whiteboard of what we call quickies. So it's like, okay, we're going to release that and sell that, but the income's not coming in for that because of these reasons. So it's like, okay, this month, what's on our quickies list? All right, what can we do? What promotion can we have to sell something to generate income to fill those gaps?
To fill that gap.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Like hair care, for example, was supposed to be here in September, and it didn't come till January, I think. So that was a huge gap where we were expecting to be earning income on hair care, and we didn't have it here to sell. So it's like, okay, what can we do instead?
Yeah, that's great.
Plan and changing the plan.
And I obviously, every business owner wants things to go smoothly all the time, but I have to say I do revel in a bit of a challenge, because I quite like, not that I create my own fires, but I do quite like firefighting. So when something's gone down, I get into like savior mode, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the solution, this is what we're going to do, and I really enjoy it. So I don't welcome shit to hit the fan, but when it does, I'm happy to clean it up.
That's sort of like, as a business owner, that's sort of what you do, isn't it? I've been dealing with a manufacturer at the moment, and she said, she referred to what we were talking about as a complaint that I was making. I'm like, no, not making a complaint, just seeing something that needs a solution.
Yes,
you know, it's just part of business. It's just, there's an issue and we need to solve it. That's all it is. I'm not complaining. It's just part of business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely got better at also being a better business person, because I'm awfully nice. And that doesn't always, I'm still nice, but you have to learn how to also be firm in business, which is something that doesn't come very naturally to me. So, you know, things like chasing money and all sorts of things, I've had to learn how to take Chanel out of that and just think like a business person. So,
so be more affirmative.
Exactly. So I think one of the things that took me when I met you guys and I saw your brand was, I was like, geez, these girls are brave, because like launching a beauty brand is massive. It's so competitive, and it's so it's so difficult to get it right. like, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to start a beauty brand? And you don't have to give your deepest, darkest secrets, but if someone is eager to create something as amazing as what you've created, you know, what would you say to them? Hopefully not, don't do it.
This is a very big market. So there's room for a lot of little players in this very big market. I mean, there are two huge cosmetic companies globally, and then lots of smaller people, two parent companies that own lots and lots and lots of brands. You have to think about how you are going to stand out, how are you going to differentiate your product. So that's, otherwise people will think, well, why should I buy you versus them? So are you going to do it just on price? Well, if you do that, that's really hard, because how are you going to compete with those big brands you can just cut underneath? And who are you going to sell to? So I think that would be how are you going to be different to everyone else?
Yeah.
And what are some of your like ultimate unique selling points that you like to share with people that encourage them to choose you?
But with certainly our skincare and our hair care, we've always loved organic and natural, but we're moving towards having everything under the Megan Potter brand certified organic. So that means that every ingredient is guaranteed to be renewable and sustainable. So there's a lovely ethic behind that it's a certified organic. It's a global community where globally farmers, manufacturers, producers are all audited every year independently, and they check for things like, has the land that the crops are being grown on being purchased ethically from someone who was willing to sell. So no deforestation, no children working on that property. The labourers are paid a fair wage. The harvesting is done at the right time of year, so the plants contain the nutrients and the natural benefits that we want them to. There's a lot of faux natural products out there that we consumers probably wouldn't know about. But you're buying argan oil. Was that argan harvested at the right time of year, at the plant's right maturity, so that it had the antibacterial and the vitamin A, B, C, D, and all those beautiful things in it, antioxidant rich, that we want? Or was it harvested very young on a like a mass-produced situation where it's like almost like a faux product? Does that make sense?
It's almost greenwashing. A lot of people just think certified organic means pesticide free, but it means so much more. And it's that guarantee of all those things. And we're finding that sustainability and things that are renewable are, that's sort of a bit of a buzz at the moment.
Even things like your ingredients that have to be, processed to a certain extent. The level of processing has to be minimal. The chemicals that are used have to be certain quality. There can't be emissions released when they are processed. So it's very strict, and it's very holistic. So when you buy something that's certified organic, you're getting, I guess, everything you want in that product from a farm to your bathroom. It's holistic.
So when you pay that money, what you're getting is exactly what it says it is, and it will do what it says it's going to do.
And it's wonderful that we've made that shift. And I know that we've still got a lot of work to do, or most certainly the bigger corporations who can hide behind whatever they hide behind, that they're not accountable for making sure that things are produced ethically. But I think brands owe it to the consumer to produce products that are going to be good for them and that are sourced ethically, to give them the peace of mind that they need to know that they're supporting a business that's not doing harm to the planet. And I think that is really, really important. And that's something that's very important to me. And I will spend more money to buy a product that is certified organic, because I want to sleep at night knowing that I'm doing the right thing. And so I think that it's great that you guys are offering a brand that gives people that peace of mind to have beautiful skin and sleep well at night. So I think that's awesome.
And we can sleep well at night too, knowing that we're offering products that are ethical. We're not just flogging something that's pretty packaging, and we know that we're offering the best, and and that it's good for everyone and the environment.
Brilliant. It's awesome. Now, before we started recording this interview, you said something very funny about your tagline around testing your product. So me not being in the beauty industry, obviously I don't know how things are tested. I obviously know that cruelty-free means they're not tested on animals. So I was interested to know, well, how do you test your products? And then Mandy said,
Well, if you can buy a product in Australia from your normal places, your supermarket, your chemist, your department store,
or online,
it is cruelty free. The law states that it has to. You can't sell a product in Australia, a cosmetic product that has been tested on animals, and most countries are the same. There's only a few examples globally where they still have animal testing. There's legislation that just prevents people from selling or testing on animals, and have been for over a decade. So when a brand, when their only claim to differentiate their product from another brand is we're cruelty free, it's like, well, yeah, you have to be, and we all are.
We all are, yeah.
We still put it on our website because this is what customers want, because people,
they look for it,
especially people, even the younger generation, don't realize in your whole, like, you've never been able to buy anything that's tested on animals, and that people that are a bit older remember brands like when the Body Shop started, I guess, was that the 80s or the 90s, and they were like, we don't test on animals, because in the UK when they started, they were still testing on animals, but they don't now.
No.
So a lot of most ingredients that are in your personal care products have been tested on animals decades and decades ago, so we don't need to do that again. And I guess chemistry's come such a long way that now we do testing. We can test on human skin cells in the laboratory, so we can essentially grow something that's similar to the tissue in your eyeball, and we can put ingredients and full finished product in that and test it in the lab and see if there's a reaction.
And then we just test it on ourselves. So we like to say it's tested on, not tested on animals, tested on party animals.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Like when we come up with a product and we think we're happy with it, we're like, and try this, mum, try this, like, let us know what you think.
And the industry is very regulated, so we by law cannot put high levels of ingredients that will cause a reaction in the product. So if there's say I want to use a preservative that kills bacteria and fungus and mold, I can check safety data sheets. I can check Australian websites, government websites that will have regulations around it. Often they're classified as poisons. How much I can use. So I might only be able to use 0.05% in a leave-in product, or 0.8% in a wash-off product like your shampoos and your body washes. So all of these ingredients and materials are heavily regulated to keep everyone safe. So we don't need to test limits now. We know how much to put in and not to put in. And
no, that's amazing, and it's good to know, because I don't think I realized that it was, every product in Australia had to be cruelty free. I didn't know that. I thought that there was, because you can still go into like Mecca and I'll say, where's your cruelty free makeup, and they're like, oh, that one and that one. They don't say all of it. So that's good to know, because I think maybe they're just pointing me in the most expensive direction, but that's,
I think what they're doing is they're pointing at the brands that have paid money for the Jumping Rabbit license.
I think so. Yeah. And it's a cute bloody rabbit. Why not? Yeah. Why not have it on your product? So I've got two more questions for you. The first one is, what has been your most valuable lesson that you've learned in business?
To be flexible and just adapt,
pivot, know that, like, we have this running sheet that we have on our Google Drive. It's called the 90-day plan, and it's basically what we plan to do in the next 90 days and beyond that. And it's not just a plan that's just a stagnant plan that this is what we're doing the next 90 days. It's like literally we're in there every single day, pretty much. So changing that plan, because
that stems from our business plan that I update. Well, last year I had to update it in July, but usually it's around, that's what I do in the Christmas break, the 90-day plan for the year. And then there are in there, and then they get broken down into tasks that then end up being broken down into the 90-day plan, and then I'll put this week, I'm doing that this week, and it all feeds into that.
And then of course it changes all the time according to income that we need to generate, or a holiday that we want to go on, so we're taking time off, or kids, whatever. It's just
you're on track and you're going to hit those goals. And even like I call it the pub test rules. What's the around branding, what does this new idea of mine fit our brand? We don't need to brainstorm. It's like, let's check the list. It doesn't, because of this reason. I love
I love the 90-day plan, because I think that so many businesses think that when they come up with a business plan, and my business grew very organically, that I don't think I ever sat down and came up with a business plan. It just happened. But a lot of businesses sit down and they think like, I've got to make this like 100 million page plan of what I need to do and blah, blah, blah. And while I'm sure that's useful, the reality is that so many things change so quickly in business that just taking 90 days at a time is a really good idea. And we do that on our end as well. So, and then constantly check in, and then we reprioritize the things that we are focused on, you know, based on what the demand is from our customers or where we need to generate more revenue. So I think that that's a really good tip, is just to pivot and just move in small increments rather than trying to like take on the world with this massive like 2-year plan, because so much can change and you're going to have to pivot anyway. So I think that that's a really, really good point. I'm a big fan of the Graham Norton show, and I love the red chair. And I was actually on the red chair on the Graham Norton show. My thing didn't get aired, unfortunately, but I was on the show, and I got flipped. So my story was obviously was not very good. And it is related to the beauty industry actually, because I was out at a pub when I was much younger. And I was chatting to this guy at the bar, and I thought, oh, I'm going to like make my lips look really, really lovely and so seductible that he's going to want to give me a smooch. And so I took out my lip gloss and I smeared it all over my mouth. And then he sort of looked at me in horror and then walked away. And then I thought, oh, I thought that was going really well. And then turned to my friend and she said, what the F have you just done? And I had put mascara on my lips instead of lip gloss. I thought that story was hilarious. But Graham Norton didn't, and he tipped me. But that is my lead into, do you have a really funny story from a time in your business that you can think of that you would like to share?
Funny
Story. That's hard.
That is hard.
I can tell you a fun fact, and it's a little bit naughty.
Okay.
Yes. I love fun facts that are naughty. Go for it.
Is this about the cleansing oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our organic gentle cleansing oil, so you know you wash your face with it, has a secondary use, and it can be used as a personal lubricant. And
that is fun.
Sex oil, and our customers love it for that. I love it for that too. So
that is a great unique selling point. Is this the same oil that you put on your salad in one of your reels?
Yes. Because it was almost like a jar. We should make a sex. Oh yeah. And then I looked into the formulation. I said, I've already made that. That's the cleansing oil. Like it's perfect for.
So then we thought we better test it out. So we did, and we're like, yeah, it's good.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Ladies, if you have not tried the cleansing oil, definitely go and check it out, because you can put it on your salad, your face, and your hoo-hoo.
Yeah, it's not compatible with condoms, obviously, because it's oil-based.
Oil-based.
Yeah, okay. That's brilliant. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That is a brilliant fun fact. And not too naughty. Cool. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure to speak to you both. You're really such an inspiration to mompreneurs, business owners, and people who are looking to build a brand as beautiful as yours is. So thank you so much, and have a lovely day, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Janelle.
Bye.